there's a lot of like weird shit that you struggle with, and I think it is easy to find a cool community to join.
Yeah.
I think that this is something I've talked about a lot before. One thing that's really hard with kids is they have a lot of voice and a lot of power that they shouldn't on social media today. Because I think historically, kids are supposed to be weird when they're growing up. When you're in high school, you're supposed to be like a goth kitten with chains, and you get a secret tattoo, and you have clothes that you dress when you leave the house that your parents don't see you leave in, and you look like a punk, and you like scene kids, scene girls, goth girls, alt kids, like all of that shit. You should be when you're a kid. It's weird. And it's fine, but it's part of your like exploratory growing stage. But the problem is that like when you grow up, you can look at that and you can go like, yeah, we did like weird dumb shit as kids, because you're like acting out, you're growing up, you're discovering yourself, you're growing into yourself, right? Sometimes you're rebelling, whatever. But the problem is that now that exploratory phase has been named trans, and it's given way more legitimacy than it should be.
Yeah.
Now, rather than it being like, because if you were to tell like a 19-year-old that says, oh, actually, I identify as a non-binary Zer, and sometimes I have DID, and you're like, okay, you'll grow out of it. You're like an evil Hitler now. You can't say that anymore. Whereas if you got like a 21-year-old girl and she's like, I'm never going to have kids, and I'm only going to have 10 cats and 3 girlfriends, and I hate men, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get 20 million times. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll see what you feel like in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like you can say that. You're not being like any kind of phobia, you know? That's like that's something that because it's all wrapped up in the trans stuff, it's very, very, very hard to actually like critically engage with any of it, because you're just like written off as transphobic, and that's really irritating.
I'll say the benefit though,